Welcome back, and in our sports news, the UAE's national football team are gearing up towards their friendly match in Al Ain against Qatar on August the 25th. Both teams are preparing for the 2014 Asian World Cup qualifiers on the 2nd of September. The UAE will begin their Asian World Cup quest against Kuwait in Al Ain on the 2nd and will then head to Beirut for their second match on the 6th of September. Should the UAE team win their first two matches, they will then face South Korea on October the 11th. In tennis, top seed Novak Djokovic, making his competitive debut as world number one, survived an early scare before defeating Russia's Davydenko 7-5, 6-1 at the ATP Masters in Montreal. The Serbian captured his first Wimbledon crown last month and now has an astounding 49-1 match record, including 8 titles already in 2011. Meanwhile, Roger Federer entered a new era with a clinical 7-5, 6-3 victory over Canadian Vasek Pospisil. Back in rhythm, Federer quickly put his stamp on the match, breaking his opponent at the first opportunity in the second set, on the way to a 3-0 lead before finishing off the young Canadian with a service winner.
It carries, a little bit more weight on your shoulders, but look, it's a challenge and it's something that I always dreamed of. So I don't want to think about negatives and worry about things that might happen because I have become number one. Will I keep it long enough? Will it come to my head? And will I struggle with emotions? No, I've become number one of the world. I achieved my dreams, and this is all that is going on in my head, all I'm thinking of, just enjoying the moment.
Rafa Nadal fluffed his lines on the return from a 5-week break when the Spanish world number 2 was stunned 1-6, 7-6, 7-6 by Croatian Ivan Dodig in his opening match on Wednesday. Back in action for the first time since losing to Novak Djokovic in the Wimbledon final on July the 3rd, Nadal had looked poised for a routine comeback victory after storming through the opening set of the second round encounter. However, the 41st ranked Croatian matched Nadal's shot for shot before ending the 3-hour thriller with a backhand cross-court winner. Despite an inconsistent performance, Nadal had his chances to seal the contest when he led 5-3 in the deciding set and served for the match, but was unable to put away his opponent. And finally in sports, Tiger Woods says his aim is victory at this week's PGA Championship, but after a season hampered by injury, his biggest satisfaction has been simply getting back to full fitness. Woods returned to competitive action last week at the WGC Bridgestone Invitational after a 3-month absence due to leg injuries. And while his erratic performance earned him a tie for 37th place, it allowed him to warm up for the final major of the season. But his first action was to deflect the media focus on his old caddy Steve Williams, who described his win last week at the WGC Bridgestone with Adam Scott as his best ever. The former world number one was instead delighted to be back in the intense atmosphere of a major.
Well, I'm finally healthy, so that's a big one. Hadn't been in a while, so that's something I'm very excited about. Finally, that I can come out here and just play and have fun again. As I said, I was always trying to block out pain. That's not a lot of fun to play through that. So it's nice to have a kind of bounce in my step again and walk around these hills and not have to worry about hills. I can just go right up it and start trying to find angles. How can I get up this hill?
And finally this evening, in the spirit of giving during Ramadan, Sharon Harvey, an art collector, has been working on having a unique art piece commissioned in order to provide relief for the women who live in the mountainous area of Chitra in Pakistan. The textile artwork, called 99 Names of Allah, contains 3,200 buttons, handmade by 99 women living in Chitral, who have expressed different meanings of Allah. The collector revealed how the concept behind the piece is actually derived from the 99 names for Allah, as inscribed in the Holy Quran. She went on to say that the stunning aspect of the piece is reflected in the spiral format, where each letter used to describe Allah has a number code. The limited edition piece, costing 40,000 dirhams, is on display at the Showcase Gallery, and 30% of the proceeds will be donated for assisting women for business startups in Pakistan. The
the actual industry's been going for many years, starting with textiles and handbags and wallets. This actual concept from this piece was initially was a textile called My Prayers, which was touring with the Blake Prize in Australia and listed as one of the finalists. Then a similar piece was commissioned by Qatari Collector, which was the cream calico buttons with black calligraphy. There's a subsequent UAE collector who has a second piece, and this is the third and last piece, which I commissioned in red and cream.
And now let's take a look at the local and international weather forecast for tomorrow. And before we head out, here are the top stories again. Police arrest 62 beggars in first week of Ramadan. Humidity levels hit 100% on coastal areas and the western region. And high food prices intensify the situation in drought-hit Horn of Africa. Well, that brings us to the end of the bulletin. As always, we'd love to hear your comments. You can write to us at news@city7tv.com or by calling us on 04 367 2230. From the entire news team, it's goodbye for now.